Hello, hello, Jamie Trull here, your favorite CPA and profit strategist. And today we're going to be talking about 2023 goals and specifically how to increase our business profit in 2023. It's January. It is January. It is that time of year. I'm recording this the very first week of January 2023. And so right now there's all this energy in my mind and probably in yours too around what's coming this year. How do I make this year the best year yet in my business, even with threats of recession and all the different things that are swirling in our heads? How can we make this an amazing year from a business, finance, and profit perspective? So let's talk about it. So in this video, I'm going to go over 3 different tips for you on how you can make more profit this year in 2023, how you can really set yourself up to achieve those goals. And we're also going to talk about the one big mistake that I see most business owners making, or maybe not most, but a lot of business owners making when it comes to setting goals for their business. So let's talk about tip number 1. Tip number 1 is to look at how to increase your profit margins. So when I'm talking about profit margins, I typically talk about profit margins from the standpoint of gross profit margins, meaning when you're looking at the price that you're charging for something minus the cost to provide that thing. So the direct costs that go into providing it. So if you are a product-based business, this is usually your cost of goods sold, right? The actual things that go into creating the product that you're selling and delivering that to consumers. And if you're a service business, that's cost of service. So the direct costs related to actually delivering that service to your consumers. Now, if you have a team that you're paying, that's a little bit easier to kind of figure out what those costs are, because those are going to be costs that you're paying in terms maybe of payroll and things like that if you're a service-based business. But if it's just you, it gets a little bit tougher. So know that you still want to be considering the fact that your time is involved, even though you may not be paying yourself a specific paycheck, that you need to think of your time in terms of your profit margins as well. And one way to increase your profit margins in a service-based business is to decrease the amount of time that it takes you to provide the service. Now, that doesn't mean cut back on quality. It just means looking at ways to maybe eliminate, automate, and delegate tasks, or really honing in on the tasks that make sense, trying to get more efficient with your delivery of that service. That can also work in product-based businesses too, especially if you are a handmade maker, right? How can you actually be more efficient in what you're making? That also can help you decrease the cost involved and widen your profit margins, okay? So what we're looking at is ways to be able to maybe increase our revenue. You can do that by selling more, of course, that's the most obvious way, but you can also do that maybe by tweaking your prices, maybe by coming up with some upsells or some different things that perhaps might be interested to the people who are already buying, that you could get them to potentially add some additional things on, right? You want to increase the average cost of each transaction. So that's one way to increase revenue. And then also to increase your profit margins, the other factor in that is cost, right? So maybe it's a matter of looking at your suppliers. Right now, we've been in a period of rising inflation. So if you haven't looked back at your suppliers, to maybe go back and see if there might be a cheaper option out there. Again, not sacrificing quality, but you may be able to look at bulk discounts or various different ways to increase those profit margins. And this is a great time to be doing that in January when we're looking toward the rest of the year and we're looking to build out as much profit margin into our daily and monthly operations as possible. So the second tip that I have for you about growing your business profit in 2023 and beyond is to really look at places that you can invest in growth. Sometimes we get a little bit worried about making investments because they feel risky, and obviously we want to do as much due diligence as possible before we invest our hard-earned money into those things. However, using your money as leverage, right, can be a key to really growing your business into the future. Maybe it's hiring that you need to do some investing in so that you can actually meet the goals that you have for yourself, right? Maybe it is an asset that you need to purchase to help you create and make things faster, right? Maybe it's a software program you need to invest in. Maybe it's education to learn a new skill or really hone a new skill. All of those things are investments that the intention of them is to invest into them with your time and or your money, right? And then to be able to recognize a return on that, get back more than what you put in. And sometimes we get a little bit fearful of using our money, especially when we are a little bit afraid of what might be coming to the future. We can never see a crystal ball. We never know what's actually coming down the line. And so we might get into this place where we just hold everything. And that is smart. We do want to make sure that we have a safety net, that we have a rainy day fund, that we are not putting ourselves in a bad place from a cash flow perspective. But we also want to make sure that we're still investing into our business in a responsible way. So that's really, really important that you don't just hold back on everything. Maybe we hold back on the things that are not investments. Maybe we try to control some costs, right, that really aren't yielding us anything into the future. And that gives us more money then to use on things that actually are going to be investments into our business. And my third tip to increasing your business profits this year, and it's something we've kind of already talked about a little bit, but ultimately sit down, take the time to make an intentional plan. Sometimes we just kind of go with the flow and we skip this step. We skip the actual sitting down and making a plan and figuring out how to get to the goals that we have. And the number one biggest mistake that I see business owners make when it comes to this and when it comes to setting goals in their business and why they don't reach them is because they set goals to say just a maybe vanity number, right? Maybe they set a revenue goal of call it $1 million, right? In this scenario where they have a vanity number, but they don't really have any way of getting there. They don't really know how they are going to get to that place. They don't know what that would require. They don't know what resources. They haven't spent time to really think about, is that really feasible given the resources that I have? And what would I need to invest in order to be able to reach that? So sometimes we come up with these big goals and they make us feel good, but then when we don't actually spend the time to make an intentional plan to figure out how exactly we're going to reach that goal, how many of what do we need to sell and when in order to get to that place, and what other systems and infrastructure might you need in place to get there. Those are the things that you need to be planning for. And this is a great time to be doing that. And you are going to be so much, exponentially more likely to meet your big goals if you have sat down and plotted out what that plan is. And even if you don't meet them, you're going to get a heck of a lot closer to meeting them if you spent that intentional time. So obviously that's something that I am super keen on. I really want people to spend time planning and getting intentional. I know that right now a lot of people are worried about closing out last year, and that is important. We need to make sure that we're doing all our reconciliations, that we have everything ready for taxes, but we can't lose this year in the process. We cannot lose that very valuable planning time, okay? So start doing it soon. If you want some help, I want to give you my annual planner first and foremost. So if you don't have it yet, make sure to go to jamietrull.com/annual planner. It is free. It is comprehensive. It's going to get you really thinking about a few things. This goes kind of deep actually, and it's completely free just to get you thinking about how to close out the year and how to really set those goals for this coming year such that you can actually meet them. And then I also want to invite you to spend some time putting that CEO hat on, getting really intentional planning for your business for 2023. I have a 2-hour live workshop that is coming up on January 18th, 2023. Okay, so if you're watching this after that, I'm sorry, you have missed it. Maybe we'll do it again next year, I don't know. But we have a live workshop January 18th from 12 p.m. Central Time to 2 p.m. Central Time. If you can't make it, don't worry. We have a 5-day replay that you get as well. And the cost to grab a seat there is only $47. So if you get my annual planner, like I said, jamietrull.com/annual planner, totally free. On the page after that, you will see the invite. You will get an invitation to join us at that planning workshop. We're going to be sitting down. If you need some help, we're going to go through that workbook. We're going to get even more granular with it. I have an extra Excel template that I'm going to give you that's a plug and play worksheet to help you figure out ROI on certain investments you might want to make into your business. I love my plug and play worksheets. It's something that I'm famous for. So of course I had to have one. And like I said, you're going to get that 5-day replay as well if you sign up. But you do need to make sure to get in before we close registration. Okay, so registration, as of right now, we plan to keep registration open through January 17th, but it could close at any point in time. So make sure to jump on in. And I'm really excited about it. I hope you walk away just feeling like you have that plan in place. You know how to get to where you want to go this year. And you've really gotten clear on what your priorities are and how you are going to march closer to those big goals that you have for yourself and for your business. So I hope to see you there. Make sure to like and subscribe for more exciting content. We've got lots of good things about profitability coming out soon. So I will see you next time.